talking to these people at Safeway who say if there's a problem, come and let them know. One thing I know for certain is that if I treated them with equality, if they got beaten down in the parking lot, I'd go the other way. That's fairness and equality. No matter how nice people talk, if you're being harmed and they're making every excuse to help the person who did it get away, they don't care about you. Now, I come in here to Safeway and I buy food. And there are people in here who pretend to care about me, but in reality, not a single one of them does. If I'm harmed, what are they going to do? They're going to make excuses, same as always. Moral of the story, don't move to Tillamook, Oregon. There are no good people here. You'll get the I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you something about people who tell you they're sorry. They're not. They don't care. They're telling you sorry because they care about what other people think. So they're saying what they're socially expected to say. It's dismissive. Now, when it comes to assaulting people, I'm not the one running around doing it. And everybody seems to think that me listening to them is the way that you listen to somebody who's been victimized. Talk over them. Yes, that's listening, apparently, according to Candace. That's listening, according to, well, everybody here. Listening means talking over the victim and making the victim feel like crap. Blowing them off for months on end, and then pretending like you don't know how to do the right thing. No, when somebody's being harmed, you all know the right thing to do. Step in right now. Don't make excuses. Now, who is it you're most likely to let be harmed? Somebody who's disabled. Somebody who's not physically attractive. Somebody who's male. Someone who's homeless. The criteria for who you treat like crap is entirely based on social status and popularity 100% of the time. If any of this stuff happened to Candy, or any of this stuff happened to Teresa, or any of this stuff happened to Nathan, they wouldn't be blowing it off. But that's the reality of my life. No matter what, everybody knows better than the retard. If I ask for people with help stopping abuse, they want to shove the same stupid ideas on me over and over and over again. Like, hey, that would be a great idea if you helped, but making a suggestion doesn't make it a possibility. Suggesting that I buy an airplane, that's not going to fix any of my problems. It's not going to get the money to buy an airplane either. I know that all the people at the deli, all of them said that they'd help. All of them said that they would help. All of them said they would help. Let's say this one more time. All of them said they'd help. In reality, how does a woman help a man? Well, by talking over us, diminishing everything that we say, and treating us like crap. Or saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Now let's show that it's not sexist, because men do the same thing. That's right. Men do the exact same thing. Now, in 5 months of abuse, 5 months of abuse from Andrew Wolnez, most of it happening here at the Safeway. How many people at the Safeway have taken it seriously? Not one. Not one person has taken it seriously. They say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, they say that they care too. But saying you care is not the same as showing it. Now, what the hell do I want for breakfast? When the victim is male, you talk over it. The most disgusting thing that you can do as a man who needs help is ask a woman for help. Her life is always going to be worse than yours, even if it's not. And for people to try to help, they have to know what you're going through. They have to know what they're trying to help with. When they've already decided what help you need and they're just going to power pound that like a bunch of junkies, they are junkies. That is the moral of the story right there. Most of the time, these people are. The other day, Theresa Ohrn wanted to call me up drunk. I wasn't the only person who noticed she was drunk. By the way, I have not talked to Theresa sober in my adult lifetime. I'm 43. That means I've been an adult for 25 years, and in that 25 years, I have not heard Theresa sober, ever. Not that it matters. Then there's, of course, the folks at Starbucks. Sure, they might say nice things, but mostly it's because it's their job to be nice to people. In reality, if these were friends, they would take the time after work. That's right. If they were actually friends, they would take the time after work to help put a stop to it immediately. Instead, what do? They say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and blow it off for 6 months. That's called neglect. If your little brother's in a group home or foster home, and he tells you that one of the staff there is raping him, is it going to take you 6 months to respond? Is it going to take you 6 months to care? Because in that amount of time, your brother can get raped a lot and end up dead. What do the people at Starbucks do when I'm harmed? Oh, sure, they told me to come in and let them know, but what does letting them know do? Meanwhile, I forgot my sugar, so I got to go out to my car and get that so I can get my morning coffee. I believe I'm going to forego breakfast. I'll probably puke it up immediately. When it comes to abuse against at-risk adults, the reason that it happens is because you pretend that the government cares about any of us and the government's going to fix it. No, they're not. I know a lot of women who have taken advantage of men their whole lives and then ended up screwed over because they did screwed up things, not because these men did. And then, of course, they want to go back and beg these men for help. Why would men help you when you've spent your entire life taking advantage of them? Why would men help you when you treat them like trash for doing so? Why would men help you? The only thing you're bringing to the table is a vagina. And I'm not interested in your vagina, so you're useless to me. If your idea of helping me is literally talking over me, blowing me off, and ignoring me, that's not help. Come on. So, of course, hey, whoever you are calling yourself Cooler Dude 123, please stop typing. We got somebody calling themselves CP. So basically a bunch of people who don't care as long as it's not happening to them. It's sad. Now, a lot of people have told me to go to the churches. I've been assaulted 4 times at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and nobody cared. I've been assaulted 4 times at the First Christian Church. There ain't no God there. None. So telling me to go to churches, that's useless. Nobody at the First Christian Church cares if I'm harmed, not even on their property. Nobody at Seventh-day Adventist Church cares if I'm harmed, not even on their property. And it hasn't been much different here. I like a lot of the people at Safeway. But if I'm harmed on their property, what I'm going to get is an I'm sorry. They will literally let people beat me down. They will let people throw stuff at my vehicle. All of these things that have happened to me in the Safeway parking lot, if I was a customer they actually cared about, they would have called 911 immediately, because this is not stuff that you just let people do to your customers. Meanwhile, everybody got their opinions, right? Like, of course, there's Nathan, and I'm supposed to take that with a grain of salt because he's schizophrenic. I'm supposed to take everything with Candy as a grain of salt because she's sick all the time. She's got her own issues. But the thing is, you're throwing your issues in my face as an excuse for not keeping your word. No, you didn't keep your word. Tell you something. If my loved ones are being harmed and I have a 106-degree temperature, I'm still helping my friends, not making the excuse that I have a 106-degree temperature. Meanwhile, you don't have 106-degree temperatures. You have excuses. You don't want to help. You're too busy. Well, if you're too busy to listen and too busy to care, you don't care. If you're too busy to care when your so-called friends are being assaulted, you don't care about them. And if you don't care about them, stop pretending to. A lot of people say, oh, Sean, the fact that I talk to you is proof that I care. No, it's not.
Your card has been accepted. If you are,
how do you care?
How many store providers
do you care to talk
today?
over them? Because that's not caring. That's just caring to talk over them. Do you care that they're being harmed? If you're talking over them, obviously you don't. Do you care to help them to turn in the abuse that they're enduring? If you're talking over them, obviously you don't.
Your total is $2.99. Please wait. System processing. Follow the instructions on the pin pad.
I heard you, Graham. I heard you coming. Kitty?
2. I'll make it 3. Make it 3. Yeah.
Please remember to take your receipt. Thank you.
What's the first thing I grabbed?
Yeah.
We got this person calling themselves local equestrian weave. What do we do with these bitches? I'd use her on this channel. Bye-bye, bitch. You don't belong here. You're a troll. What's the idea of helping? Now, the biggest issue with the ladies at deli, some of you know, a lot of them offered to help but didn't follow through. What's the majority of the help that they offered? Yeah. Violence begat violence. I was trying to talk to my phone and do my daily log, but it's not wanting to function.
So,
Yeah.
you're dead.
Yeah, well, it's homeless. See, 0.18% of the population are homeless, and the homeless account for 61% of those killed by police last year. Black.
And if you cut, you're like, let's say, with a case. Last year, this kid, he was disabled, and he kind of shook. Well, the cop thought he was harassed or
On drugs?
on drugs or something, and he wasn't talking right or something, and the cop shot him.
Yeah, that's one of the things about being autistic and having Tourette syndrome. I do this with my wrist and I wink my eyes weird, so I have to worry about getting shot for stimming. But a lot of people don't know enough about autism to even know what stimming is. They just assume I'm on drugs and out there.
Oh yeah.
But it's not a choice, and that's one of the things that a lot of the people out here on drugs are recognized. Like, yeah, they're on drugs, but I'm not. That doesn't mean that I'm out to get them. Some of them, they walked up to me because they saw me doing my winky blinky thing while I was having a panic, and they'd say, "Hey man, you got any clear? You got any white?" Which, of course, amphetamine, cocaine, and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I don't mess with drugs.
It's artistic. Now they got a little bit more on it, on the artistic stuff now, but back about 10 years ago or whatever, it was artistic, and the teacher and the principal thought it was just messing around and, you know, causing trouble. So he got written up, and then he got kicked out. He called the parents, like the principal called the parents, and your kid is doing this and doing that. Did you ever go back into his records and see that he's autistic? He's got brain. This kid had several things wrong with
Me too.
him. And
But I'm high functioning, so a lot of people ignore the fact that I do have disabilities. They're like, oh, well, he's smart though, so his disabilities don't exist. Like, no, if you put somebody in a wheelchair and they got an IQ of 180, they're still in a wheelchair.
well, it's just like my son. My son's working, and so they think, oh, he's doing this, doing that. He's not disabled. Yes, he is. He's got he has seizures.
So it's unsafe for him to drive.
Huh?
So it's unsafe for him to drive.
Yep.
I got a lot of people that I know with seizures that hide their seizures because if they can't drive, they can't work, and nobody's going to pay them to have seizures.
Yeah. Well, I can't keep. It's just convenient for me the way how I work and things. I can take him to work and go get him. But that's the seizures are caused by his dad. His real dad threw him up against the wall when he was 3 years old.
Sounds like a dad like mine.
I said, I do not want to meet the man because he ended up in prison. And I see people like that. I know it's against, you know, God's rule and everything, but if someone kills them, society should say, "Oh, cool, you're a hero." But no, you're a kid. You should kill someone.
That's one of the things about having the court of law is that they're supposed to sort that stuff out, but it never gets that far because the police decide who's right and wrong before they do any investigating.
Oh yeah.
So we got a lot of people who are dead for things that they didn't. And of course, right now, because of the COVID thing, they let out a lot of people who are violent offenders, and they're locking up drug users again. I'm like, well, which drug users are you locking up? Are we locking up a bunch of potheads because they were homeless and smoking pot outside? Or are we locking up pedophiles? I'll be back, though. They're turning up a lot of stuff. Then there's the lack of money to clean the better data. It looked like a bunch of white dots earlier. So what do we got here? We got trolls typing on my channel. This dude's calling himself Pie, typing Teresa is sending a hitman to get you. Jesus fucking Christ. See, this is the thing, is I need someone to fucking help me. I need someone to take it seriously. But we got people like this who are just going out of their way to be assholes. Jesus Christ, it's a nasty fucking country. He typed, better hide retard. Isn't that lovely? Fuck this goddamn country. And fuck everyone in it. As far as the folks at Safeway go,